Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming to another video. Alright, so Ja Morant is going to be leaving the Memphis Grizzlies for a time. The word is indefinitely. He's still going to be with the team as their point guard, but as far as his status for returning, it is indefinite at this time. Now, I made a therapy session, as I always do. I don't like adding people's names to therapy sessions and stuff like that. Maybe occasionally I might do a therapy session, Lakers special or something like that. But other than that, there's never anything other than me speaking my mind, you know. And sometimes I'm talking about myself. Most of the time I'm talking about myself. But every once in a while I'll try to put something that would otherwise be a big hot topic or controversial topic or just something I'm thinking about spiritually or whatever. I just leave it as a safe space and break all the rules in regards to what people are supposed to be doing in regards to the internet. But I just simply am my own person and doing it my own way. And this is kind of how I like to handle things. Helps me learn about myself, helps me learn about my points of views and things like that, and capture moments in time, etc. So with this Ja Morant thing, I made a therapy session. And, you know, I just kind of saw, you know, with the 2-game suspension, the possibility of the suspension being expanded. Not necessarily because of anything I've heard specifically about that particular situation with him and the IG. Nothing that would be in that story that would make it more so a suspension worthy, but just the overall energy surrounding Ja all year long. The kind of way the media's been handling him for the last 3 weeks. I just knew that he had the wrong energy going on around him. And because of it, it's becoming a distraction. So if it's going to be a distraction, it's probably going to be longer than 2 games that he would be missed. Just thinking about how organizations think, how associations think, they're going to want you to get your head right. And if there's anything that needs to be sorted out over time, then you would need to take the time to do that. So that's kind of where I think Ja's at, man. That's where I think he's at. He needs to go take some time out and go figure out how he wants to handle his career. You know, I've listened to academics, and just now when he was saying, you know, Ja's doing what he wants to do. Ak has never heard of Ja's friends egging him on to do anything. Ja's usually the one who's doing whatever it is that he chooses to do. And I think that that's fair, but at the same time, if you have the influence of culture and you have the unlimited funds and you're in like 23, 24 years old, you really do need good friends. You need good guidance. You need people that are not just going to sit by idly while you do whatever it is that you're doing. There's something to be said for having unlimited funds and being as young as Ja is, at the top of the world. His body can do things nobody else can do. He probably thinks that he's a supreme being or something at this point and doesn't see the wisdom nor have any scares whatsoever of losing what it is that he has. So he's in that weird space where he's, you know, able to do whatever really he wants to do, but not wise enough to know that he shouldn't want certain things. You know, it's not everything you want to do is good for you. You know what I mean? Not everything that's best for you to be able to do is going to work for everybody that you love, etc. So it's like he just got the big head, you know. And I think Paul Pierce brought some interesting points of views into the situation, gave us something else to think about in regards to what happened to him back in the day when he was attacked in Boston and everything went down out there. He carried heat from then on out, and nobody really knew it, but he always had it on him, he said. And it was one of those situations where it's like he understood where Ja coming from. You don't know how it feels to be a target like that. You don't know how it feels to be in those shoes, more or less. And, you know, a lot of people will respond to saying Paul Pierce is not the same thing, etc., etc. You know, my point of view is I think Paul Pierce would have a much better point of view and relate to Ja than I would be able to from my seat. But what I guess I would listen to him and then from there say, you got to be able to move in a way that doesn't allow you to also take blowback. You know what I mean? It's like Paul Pierce did all of this without us knowing it, bro. He's telling us this after the fact. He's telling us this after all of the things have gone down in his life that needed to go down. He made the Hall of Fame, got a big bag, went through the ESPN process, left that job, and now is telling us about how he protected himself. It's like, bro, you didn't brandish the thing on camera for everyone to see when you were entering your prime. And that is the difference, I think. You know, you tell a guy like John Morant, just because you're a target does not mean you need to be letting everybody know that you carry something. We should assume that you hire people that carry something. You understand what I'm saying? Especially in the echelon that he's in. You know, with respect to my own circumstances, I'm not in that tax bracket, but it's like there's a difference between being a regular NBA player and then being where Ja's at. You know, we talk about a lot of basketball players that are not in the space that Ja's in. You know what I mean? With a whole lot of concern in regards to how they handle so much of what they have. Ja's got a lot more than them, and is on the path to get a lot more than that. And so he needs to really be guided, I think. And I've heard some other people talk about how, you know, Ja's a grown man, and you can't, you know, his father can't tell him nothing. He's going to do whatever he wants to do regardless. True. But there's something to be said. This is how I kind of look at it. I guess it's how I feel I would have handled myself if I could go back in time and kind of look at it. You understand that 25-year-old, 24-year-old, I think Josh 24. You understand that 24-year-old is at a point where they believe that they can do whatever they want. You, their father, you probably can't put hands on them like you wanted to back in the day. Obviously, John Morant's in his physical space where he wouldn't be able to do that with his son anymore. You would hope respect would keep it from being ridiculous, but oftentimes it don't. When it gets to that point when you're asking somebody to change their ways, and you couple that with the fact that he's the breadwinner, the big breadwinner, at that, it just becomes a situation where what can Pops really do that will actually be effective? And the answer is anything. Anything you do is going to be effective, because that's, at the end of the day, that's your seed. And even if he's in a space where the world is showing him that he's the biggest and the baddest, at the end of the day, when he falls, the first thing he's going to be doing is reaching for his daddy and his mama. That's what he's going to be reaching for. And so at the end of the day, as somebody who's gotten the privilege of being able to get to 38, I think John Morant truly does need his father to suggest certain things to him as his dad that would sway him away from thinking that this is just absolutely the way for him. You know, because it's not. At the end of the day, it's just not. There are a lot of ways to live, and telling everybody that you want to be seen as a menace is not the way to live. It ain't. There's a lot of people who have that misconception, and some of them have to position themselves that way to get what they need. Ja already has what he needs. He don't need to do that. And that's what it really comes down to. If you are really a G or whatever it is he's trying to be, you got to understand what it is that they're about, what it is that you're about, and understand the difference between what it is that your image you're trying to present is, and what is the purpose of that actual image when it's worn by people who are living that lifestyle. You know, I think a lot of people think it's cool. I think a lot of people are concerned about letting down loved ones who happen to be in that lifestyle, who might be around them, people that they looked up to, people that they owe favors to or what have you, people they owe a lot to that helped them get to where they are. I think John may be in a space where that might be in some variation of what's happening. Maybe that is the case. Maybe if it means a lot to him to gain the respect of people that he feels will only respect this side of him. But, you know, when you live long enough, you start to understand that a lot of times people engage in what it is that Ja's engaging in, the type of behavior that he's trying to engage in, they really end up running into some serious troubles, man. And that's why it doesn't become as cool anymore for people who live long enough to see it play out. It's not that the image and the bravado doesn't hold a certain draw to it. Obviously, being strong, being powerful, being young, and all these different things can be romanticized. But if you see how a lot of those stories play out you don't even desire to romanticize that energy no more. When you see the suffering that comes with it after a while, when you see the prolonged breakdown of somebody's life when they allow that type of conflict over time, it's like you got to still keep living after that stuff ain't cool no more. You got to still keep looking over your shoulders after you got a family now. Now you, all them things you used to do when you was 20 and all that stuff that you thought was cool when you was trying to be gangster, you got to wonder if that stuff is coming back to you now. You know what I mean? I know so many people that I've known in my life that don't live like that no more, and they still have that in their life where they can't go certain places. You know what I mean? They can't, and they can't live free because they have so much negativity from their past. And it's like John Morant is trying to walk into that arena, but he has absolutely no idea what it is that's coming with it. It's just like I was listening to, you know, and I don't want to speak out of term because I don't know who studies what or who believes in what, but it just seems to me that it's just like shock and awe. So I'll assume it's such. A guy like Lil Uzi Vert, whose name, if you put it together, is Lucifer. But you know, he went on stage at Rolling Loud today and came out with a new song, and he was essentially saying he made the city girl believe in Lucifer. And a lot of people interpret that a lot of ways. If you're a Christian, you believe God exists, you believe Satan exists, so therefore you believe in. But that's not what believe in means. Believe in is placing faith in. That means you're placing your belief in, and that's where people are getting misconstrued in regards to what those words mean. It's a lot of ambiguity, but not in regards to spirituality. There's no ambiguity. When you believe in, that means you apply your faith toward it. So no, I'm not fooled into that. I think that if he's not studying whatever it is that Satan is studying, all that stuff, if he's not really into that, and he's just flying off of the lip trying to get something that will attract attention, trying to, you know, just continue to push forth the image that he's already placed out there, which is that he's a devil worshiper with compassion, which is a very interesting thing that I don't understand. But nevertheless, when he speaks that way, and he gets out there and he tells everybody he's trying to, you know, make city girls believe in Satan or whatever, I don't think he understands the pain that comes with what Satan's plans truly are. Just like a lot of people who toy around with that stuff, I don't think they understand that prolonged suffering toward you is what comes with his plans. Like, if you really understand and you truly believe in that kind of stuff, then you know that you're asking to lose whatever it is you're engaging in, and the prolonged suffering of things that really don't have nothing to do with what it is you're focusing on is what you're asking to engage in, the destruction of things, you know? That's all I always tell people, like, anything negative, anything hateful, anything demonic is an eraser. It's a removal tool. It's something that's supposed to remove something. Like, it's not supposed to allow any building, any living, any growth, none of that. No, Satan's here to erase and leave everything completely white. There's nothing left. You can't see nothing. There's nothing. It's just silence forever. Like, that's what he wants to bring it back to. Erase all of the creativity that the creator put forth. To erase all the creator created. So that means you and all your synopsis, all you believe in, all you think about, all that you love or don't love, whatever you consider happiness or peace, whatever you provide yourself in any way, shape, or form that you would appreciate, Satan's energy is that to take it from you. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you genuinely have to desire an infinite amount of suffering for an infinite amount of time if you truly want to engage in what that's actually about. And so, like, there's a lot of people who think they know, but they don't really know what they're actually asking for when they do that. And I'm pretty certain that soul right there, little Uzi Vert, I'm certain he doesn't know what the hell he's asking for when he does that. I'm certain of it. And so as I look back at John Moran, who's also asking for Satan to come see him, he don't know what the hell he's asking for either. He has no idea. Two young fellas doing the same thing in very different ways. It's the same exact thing, man. Because Jah, when you live by the gun, my friend, you definitely asking for what comes with that. I ain't got to finish that sentence because I ain't putting that on your name. But we know what comes with that. And like I said, he got enough money to hire people to handle that burden for him. You ain't got to have that on your soul. You know, there are people outside throwing their souls away because they have to get money, man. They got to feed people. Your daughter's fed. Your father's fed. Everybody's good. So the thing that you're appealing to, the very thing you're appealing to is the thing that's appealing to what it is that you have. So what does that mean, Ja? It means the same thing that Paul Pierce told you, that you are a target, fam. Except for the fact that you are not putting yourself in a position to be safer. You're throwing yourself in a position to be savored. You know how meat tenderized? Yeah, you're food, Ja. When you act like that, you're food. And I tell anybody else, if you're going to pour liquor and drugs into your system, then you're going to allow yourself to go completely out your mind. You got to know that there are going to be people around you who are not. And they're going to see that you are out of it, and they're going to start plotting on getting what it is that you have. Because like I said, everybody who's putting on that image that Ja's trying to present is after what it is that he has. They trying to get money, man. That's about getting money. That's all that's about. All that image, all that, blah, 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 trying to be strong as hell, trying to get to the paper, bro. That's all it's about. You have it already. So why are you trying to act like that? You're above that, you know. So you're supposed to be hiring people like that to get them out of those circumstances so they can believe in something greater than themselves, and you reinforcing the same nonsense so that people can lose. And it's the irony of the whole situation is this is a competitor every night trying to help his team win. And by way of his image, he's trying to drag himself down, his people down, and everybody else who will follow him. And it's funny because I was like, in the situation, I'm like, man, Youngboy is the greatest example. I was saying that in the therapy session. Youngboy is the greatest example because Youngboy is trying to clean up his image. Man, it turned out Youngboy in the video killed my point. Youngboy right there next to him. And so at this point, it's like all these young fellas, all these people, man, they need to understand that your image is manipulated. That's what I was saying in the therapy session. It's not about just you having fun and you being in the center of the world. You got entities and people around you, suits that are looking to earn money just like you are. And every time you make a mistake, that's a jackpot for them. Lawyers, cha-ching, business people of all different kinds, they can capitalize on your stupidity, young person. And they don't care if you make a mistake because you don't look like them. They don't care that you're 24 years old and about to run into a wall because you don't look like their sons. If anything, they want their sons in your place, and their sons can't do what you can do, bro. But they can definitely continue doing what they do, and so long as you keep being stupid enough to allow them to take advantage of you. This is what I've understood my entire life, and I've wanted others to understand it too. You just gotta, when you're a talented person, you gotta know that you're in a arena that's going to exploit you, manipulate you, and magnify your mistakes for the approval of the wide world. You're a spectacle. All of your mistakes, all of your triumphs, all of it. It's just for our consumption. And so that's what I want to denormalize, if anything, and just allow for a different perspective to say, I'm tired of the paparazzi chasing down our favorite stars or whatever, running Princess Diana off the road. I'm tired of these different things that we seem to think are culture is normal. And one of the things that we think is normal is the young black male image, appeal of thugging. That's not normal, man. Because it degrades our value in the world. When we try to be businessmen, we try to step up and show ourselves to be serious. We're not taking it serious because of that image and because of the exploitation of that image. You know, the satire and the oversaturation of that image. It makes it so that we're caricatures of our very own selves when we go into serious circumstances and try to get what it is that we've earned or what it is we deserve. So long as they can keep on saying you're too stupid to stop shooting yourselves, they don't have to pay you nothing. They don't have to give you nothing that you've already earned. When we talk about reparations and things like that, they don't have to give us none of that. So long as there's a $200, $300 million John Morant running around being stupid, they can say, see, there's opportunities for them. And they blow them. So why should we ever? When we know it's only 1 in a trillion Jaws. We ain't Jaws. No. He's Ja. That's why you're paying him $200 million. That's why he needs to stop acting like a damn fool. None of us can do that. Those opportunities ain't coming all of our ways. We still need support out of this wealth gap. We still need support helping ourselves undo the nonsense that the exploitation of our image has caused us. Not to mention the competition and other circumstances around it. You know, so it's like, Not to say that we're the most disenfranchised or have the most up against us in 2023. I don't believe nothing like that right now. But like I said, not all of us are Ja. What essentially the world will tell you is that we all can get $200 million if we just jump and shoot a jump shot. Not everybody can do that, man. And so that's what I'm saying. Not everybody can be successful in rap. It's many of people who fell back into circumstances after trying their best to reach and not achieve it. So with that being said, we need those who are fortunate enough to be in those circumstances to respect the uniqueness of their lives and the image and what it is they can do to either reinforce more of the same or give us a new way forward for our kids so that we can believe in ourselves, so that we can develop our talents, so we can do whatever it is that we're going to do to put ourselves in a position to be stronger going forward. But we can't keep doing this if we keep on playing into the devil's hands, wanting what the devil has, not taking him seriously and pretending he doesn't exist. Like everything he's about is folly. It's not. It's not folly, man. If you believe in God, then you know Satan's not folly. He's not playing around. It's war. So everybody who's torn around with one side or another, or teetering the fence, you want to act like you love people on one side and you want to scream, you got black women, worshiping Satan. I'm telling you, that don't lead nowhere good. I don't care how much money you donate or how many different things you say you're good about. When you call out for that spiritual energy, you're going to get what come with that, bro. I'm telling you, this ain't no joke. When you dabble with bad spiritual energy, you're going to get what comes with that. And it ain't a whole lot of triumph. It's suffering, bro. It's a lot of suffering and confusion. Because you're going to think you're on the top of the world while hate is coming your way and fire and brimstone in your future. You don't want nothing to do with that. There's many a person who think they evil until they see suffering, until they feel suffering. They realize they ain't evil no more. They just sad. They not evil no more. They just damaged. You better get it right, man. Get it right. Don't be confused about who you are out here. A lot of y'all think y'all monsters. Y'all ain't monsters. Y'all don't know what a real monster is. A lot of y'all just think that because y'all surrounded by people who are dumb enough to do dumb things and evil enough to take people off of the earth, but you ain't a monster. There are real monsters out there, and they're manipulating stuff while acting like everything's fine, while acting like they have nothing to do with it. That's the real evil, bro. Those are the real ones who understand Satan, are actually praying to him. They actually believe in him. They ain't toying with words for publicity. You better know what you're dealing with. So I'm telling Ja, and I'm telling Lil Uzi Vert, and I'm telling anybody who would listen to me, understand what you're asking for, man. But whatever it is you are doing in life, whatever it is that you are asking for in your spiritual space, know that it's not empty. There's many a human who wasn't afforded spiritual energy. They just aren't afforded that. For whatever reason, their positioning, he didn't give them that. And they're going to have a lot of influence going forward. They always have. They're strong, they're smart people, but they don't feel spiritual energy. They don't have that special thing that connects them to the whatever the heck this is that we got going on in this life of ours. I can tell you that I've experienced enough in my life to tell you that they are missing something. It's not that they're right. They're missing something. They don't feel something that's real. And so what I tell you is, in the spiritual energy that I've engaged in and the different things that I've welcomed by doing it the wrong way and then doing it the right way and seeing what comes with that, all I can say is I do not at all want anything to do with what will have my spirit in a torturous space. If that means prolonged suffering of any kind, I want no parts of it. That means I can't be welcoming that accidentally by doing the thing that I think is going to bring me respect, but it's actually going to bring me that. You see what I'm saying? That's where a lot of people went wrong. They thought, yeah, I'm going to be the worst, baddest dude, and that's going to make me... No, all it's going to do is bring you to a space where you deserve that, and since you'll deserve that, you'll pay in that way. You got to pay now, but you're going to pay later. And the fear of that pay can drive you even into a worse space. Knowing that it's coming to keep you from doing the good things you know you should be doing in certain situations because you know you're damned already. There's a lot of people like that, man. believe in redemption, so they continue to reinforce more of the nonsense. Being soldiers for Satan. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing to play with. It starts with self-hatred. If you love yourself, you'll never turn toward nothing that's going to have you hated. Give it some thought. And you know what, man? I'm always tell you guys I'm praying for John Morant. I always ask people to pray for everybody. You know what I mean? Because I know if you're praying for everybody, I'll be included in that. I always pray for people who don't pray like me, because there's a big difference between different religions who are still praying to the same source and then whatever little Uzi Vert is on. It's a big difference between that. Some of the people who hide in our religions are on that, and we need to know that. But nevertheless, man, at the end of the day, I'm about building, I'm about progression, I'm about seeing people survive and succeed, regardless of where their color or their positioning. I look to understand how to respect people's lives a little better than I already do. I look to protect myself and my family just the same. I believe in the freedoms that we have. I wish they made a lot more sense amongst, cross state lines. I wish they did, as it pertains to our Second Amendment. I wish we had reasonable, safer gun culture. That's what I want to say. Laws, what we allow will determine the laws. What we think is cool and what we think are norms will determine the laws. If we don't like how the laws are going, we vote against those laws. Let's fix us. It's the culture. It's us. It's us. It's allowing those who have no care for what it is that matters in regards to building to determine what happens in regards to these guns. I keep telling y'all, that's what it comes down to. We're allowing those who don't give a damn about the guns to control what happens in regards to the guns. That's the problem. And I get it. I can hear it in my head. When everybody puts their gun down, I'll put mine down. I'll be the last one, though. I hear you, brother. I hear you. It's real threats out there. We don't know nothing. But at the end of the day, just because you know what you're doing with your gun does not mean somebody doesn't get your gun someday who doesn't. And when they do, possibilities are endless. I think everybody's thinking about their own self and their own mind, but you're going to go on the ground, my friend, and that thing is still going to be somewhere. It's going to be somewhere. People are too short-sighted. They care only about themselves, and they don't think about the future at all. It's pertaining to certain things that are going to outlast them, like bombs. Bombs and guns and things of that nature. They're going to be picked right back up. And they keep making more and more and more of them, more and more of them, and the old ones still around. Everybody think about today, 2023. What about 2060? When all the guns that are still here now are going to also be on the streets along with everything we're going to make it till then. 2080? What about those? Anybody going to be melting guns anytime soon? I doubt it. Seems like the only things that are built to last are the guns these days. Everything else you got to get rid of every 6 months. All I'm saying is this, man. I don't know if Ja was holding a gun or not, man, but when you are doing it the way he's doing it, you're not doing it right. There should be other people taking care of that for you with much bigger guns than what he had. That little thing ain't stopping nothing, bro. You better get some real stuff if you want to be serious about protecting yourself. So that's pretty much what I got to say. And the next order of business in regards to protecting yourself is making sure you don't have people around you that are going to be facing 150 years, fam. Like, that deserves some silence. So anyway, man, prayers out to everybody involved. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.